Hey guys, how is everybody doing? With the release of Transformers The Rise of Beasts coming out in theaters this Friday, I thought it'd be fitting for me to review all the other Transformers movies. This could not go wrong. Bit of a history on the Transformers movies. My dad, he loves these first two movies. He thinks the first two movies are pretty good. Me and him, we're not the biggest Michael Bay fans. We think some of his movies are pretty good. But I always feel that these movies are kind of what made Michael Bay kind of like this big person in Hollywood. Sure, he was a known director. A lot of people knew who he was, but I feel it wasn't until Transformers that came out that made this made this big career for him. I honestly feel that, oh god, something's in my eye. The whole world's gonna die now. I honestly feel that Platinum Dunes, who is a production company, which is Michael Bay's production company, I feel that it would not exist if it weren't for this Transformers series. And I always grew up with these movies. The main ones I would watch was the second one and the fourth one. I don't remember. I did not remember much of this first movie because if I'm thinking correctly, I do not remember watching this movie at all. And if I'm gonna be honest, I think I maybe watched this movie like once or twice. And I think that my younger self told my dad like, turn this one off. I want the fourth one with Mark Wahlberg. Starting off with my positives on the original Transformers is I like how this first half of the movie is kind of a mystery where you kind of get like that kind of like horror vibe thing, or just kind of like all these other superhero comic book movies where there's like a mystery thing going on where this character Sam, he goes to high school, and then his dad decides to buy him a car since he did good on his like grade thing, which all parents usually do. When you do good on your report card, you get something special sometimes. And then he goes to buy him a car at like a Toyota, but then he's like, no, we're not going here, we're gonna go to this weird ass junkyard that only asks for like $4,000. And then he finds this one car and he buys it, and then he realizes there's something going on with it. He doesn't know. He feels that there's something wrong with the car. It keeps acting up, it keeps doing strange things, but he doesn't know what it is. He think that it just might be an old car, and he's just trying to figure it out. I like that. And then when like the car like drives away one night, he thinks that someone stole it, but then he realizes that it's driving by itself. And then it kind of gets like this weird funny vibe where he thinks that it's possessed, and he thinks that maybe that his car is possessed and trying to kill him. I liked how it keeps that little mystery thing. Sure, we see some Transformers in like the opening and some other scenes where like the military is trying to like kill him and all that, or take him down. We get that, and we kind of get it. We kind of understand that, oh yeah, these things are alive, and we all know that that yellow car that Sam just bought is Bumblebee and all that. We all know that, but he tries to keep it a mystery. But after all that mystery stuff is out of the way, we finally get revealed to the Transformers. And I'm a sucker for mystery movies. Here's the big thing that Michael Bay is always known for, and that is the action. Sure, Michael Bay may be that one director that's always been known for big budget explosion action type movies, but the action in this movie is pretty cool, and it's a lot of fun when if you ever just want to watch a movie that just has a bunch of action, weird dialogue, kind of a weak story, Michael Bay movies are for you. And I think the action in this movie is it's a lot of fun. What do you expect? It's a Transformers movie where all of these Autobots are fighting just to get a single cube so they can like turn all like machines into monsters and Autobots so they can take over the world. That's the entire movie. And it's all and there's just and you expect a lot of action to go on with Optimus Prime and the villain. It's not Magnitude. It's Megatron, right? Why do I want to call him Magnitude? Uh, Other than all that, it's the action's fun. If you ever just want to watch a movie with a bunch of action, watch a Michael Bay movie. Sam, I also do think that the main characters in this movie are interesting, and I think that they're a lot of fun. Mainly Sam, and I do like him, and Megan Fox's character. I don't remember her name at the top of my head. I think that Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox kind of have good chemistry together. For Megan Fox, who's kind of been represented as kind of like a am I getting in trouble for saying this? Kind of like a sex idol at this point, and but I honestly do feel that she is a pretty good actor, and I don't like looking at her as this kind of like sexy idol in a way, I guess. But I do think that Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox have good chemistry as these two characters. Where Sam, it's a character we've all seen where he's like this kind of nerdy person that does good in school who just gets a car, and that the girl that he likes, the hottest girl in school, and that he has a crush on, is dating like this jock and who's an asshole. Tries to get with her, but the jock uh like treats him like shit, and then the girls is like over it, doesn't want to be near him, and then finally goes with Sam, hangs out with him when she's forced to walk home because she wants to drive her boyfriend's truck, but he's like, no, my truck. It's basically his reaction. And then tries to walk home, which her house is like 10 miles, and then Sam tries to try to drive her home and trying to like flirt with her in a way, which it's a movie that we've all seen with these characters are all characters that we've seen in movies before, but I like seeing it. I like seeing those type movies, and especially since Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox have pretty good chemistry, and when two actors have pretty good chemistry and it's about like a love story, then you know they're doing something right. Also, just means kind of good writing. Think these Autobots are brought to life beautifully. Enough talk about like the story, the action, or blah blah blah. We're here for the Autobots, and the writers and Michael Bay. They all know that. They know that we're here for a Transformers movie. For now, I think they brought these Autobots beautifully alive. The only time that we saw these Autobots were in a kids cartoon, which a movie also came out in 1982, which pissed off a lot of people. And I feel since this is a live action adaptation of Transformers, they do a damn good job bringing them to life. And I think that yes, it's CGI. You could tell it's CGI, but it looks good. And it's kind of embarrassing when you see CGI for 2005 and compared to She-Hulk in Disney Plus. That CGI in there is absolute dog shit, and it looks horrible. But in this, for a movie that was made in 2005, some of it looks bad in some areas, but it looks better than fucking that. And if your if your CGI looks better in 2005 than a 2022 show, that's pretty fucking embarrassing. Other than less, I do think that these Autobots are brought beautifully to life, especially Megatron, who like a scary motherfucker when he's brought to life like that. I think all of these other characters are brought to life beautifully, especially Optimus Prime, who's the star of this show, and probably the only reason that we come to watch these movies. Weirdos thinking that Megan Fox is going to be in the new one. I like how this movie kind of has like an emblem entertainment type thing going here, which makes sense because Steven Spielberg did in fact produce this movie and its sequels. I don't know if they did all the sequels, but anyways, where I do like the little friendship between Bumblebee and Sam, where Sam buys the car, like I said, and after he finds out it's alive, they both kind of grow to be like best friends in a way. Like even when Bumblebee gets kidnapped, he fights all of his power just to get to Bumblebee, just so he can save him. I love that entire segment where Sam tries his best just to save Bumblebee, and he's trying to tell everyone's like, he's not a threat, he won't hurt you, he's here to protect us, but no one will listen, and then he like fights for all these guys, and he even picks up like a fucking fire extinguisher that they're using to take down Bumblebee, and he fucking sprays the guy who's doing that. That was a pretty funny scene. I think that the friendship between Bumblebee and Sam is pretty damn good. Like I said, it's a lot of like the Emblem Entertainment. It's kind of like the relationship with Elliot and ET. For someone who loves like those bromances in a way in movies and who has his own, I just love seeing that. Now moving on to my mixed, the comedy. Now I do think the comedy works in some areas. There's a lot of points in this movie where it actually got me to laugh, and I was like, huh, that's actually pretty funny. Oh, I got a chuckle out of me. Oh, that's pretty funny. But then there's some areas I'm like, that's not very funny. Especially the part where fucking Bumblebee pisses on like the FBI agent. I was like, what? I don't know why that was in the movie. I'm like I said, basically for a comedic attempt, and for this trying to be like a kids movie. I could live without that. I don't know what the fuck the purpose of that was. I don't know who came up with that idea. I'm guessing that's because they like pee jokes. If you like pee jokes and you want to see people make a bunch of pee jokes, just watch Transformers 5. Did I seriously just say Transformers 5? I meant to fucking say Tremors 5. Than all that, guys, I think this is a pretty good movie. I think this is one of Michael Bay's best movies, and I think it's one of the most underrated movies. I feel that this movie is kind of overtaught by all of its sequels, because everyone talks shit about the sequels, and then they think that the first movie is bad just because basically all of its sequels are dog shit at this point. But I think this movie is a pretty good movie. It's a pretty fun Michael Bay movie. I would honestly say to go out and buy it. What do you guys think of Transformers? Is this one of your favorite Michael Bay movie? Is this one of the worst? Do you not like this movie? What are your guys' thoughts on this movie? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. And if you like this video, like it. If you loved it, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos. But until my next review, take care.